Today's daf is daf Samach Gimel, and we start with Masechet on the top of the Amud, and this is a kasha on Rabbi Zera. And Rabbi Zera said that machlokas between the Chachamim and Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel is in a case of Ad HaGeshamim. He made a neder konam yayin shani toim Ad HaGeshamim. And the Chachamim were of the opinion that since he added these words ad hageshamim, he meant to explicate his intention that he waits for the termination of his neder. He waits until the geshamim actually come down. Whereas Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is of the opinion that it depends upon the zman that's royal geshamim. It doesn't depend upon whether it rained or it didn't rain. However, says Rabbi Zera, although that's the machlokus in the case where he added out geshamim, but if he only said out geshem, he meant to say zman geshem. Even the chachamim agree that it means the revia shnia, which is a concept that we're going to study in Mitzvah Shem today. Meisveh. Let's take a look at the brisa, and this brisa seems apparently to contradict Rabbi Zera. Ezer he zman shel revia. What exactly is Revia? There are three time periods in the month of Cheshvan when the rains come down. Habachira, this is the first of the rains, the early rains, which is called the Revia Rishona. The Shlosha is on the 3rd of Cheshvan, according to Rabbi Meir. Beinadis, the second rainfall period is Bishiva, is 4 days later on the 7th of Cheshvan. And Afila, the last of the three, is Esrim Ushlosha. Will be on the 23rd of Cheshvan, and all this is Divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, the first of the three Revios, and the first rainfall is B'Shiva, is on the 7th of Cheshvan. U'B'Shivasar, on the 17th of Cheshvan, we get to the second rain. Will be Esrim Ushlosha, and we get to the Revia Shlishis, the third rain, on the 23rd of Cheshvan. So both Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda have the 23rd of Cheshvan as the day marked off for the Revia Shlishis, whereas Rabbi Meir has the first on 3 of Cheshvan, the second on the 7th of Cheshvan. Rabbi Yehuda has the first on the 7th of Cheshvan and the second on the 17th of Cheshvan, but they all agree that the Revia Shlishis is on the 23rd of Cheshvan. Rabbi Yossi is going to push the rainy season even further down the line, even later. He says B'Shiv Asar, the first is on the 17th, will be Esrim V'Shlosha, and the second Revia, which means the Beinanis, is on the 23rd. Ubechodesh Kislev, meaning on Rosh Chodesh Kislev, that's the third Revia. V'chein Rabbi Yossi Omer, ein hayechidim misanim ad sheyagia Rosh Chodesh b'Kislev. Now, this issue of when exactly are the three Revios is relevant to Titus Tzibur. If the rains have not been falling and these three periods pass, then we have to begin the entire process described blow by blow in great detail in the Masechet Tainis of Tainios Geshamim. And according to Rabbi Yossi, since the third rain usually falls as late as Rosh Chodesh Kislev, that's the Zman of Revia Shlishis. It's only when we pass Revia Shlishis and we're in the month of Kislev and the rains have not fallen, Chas v'Shalom, then we begin to organize the fasts, one after the other. The Amrin Allah, there's a brisa that expands and expounds the original brisa, and we're going to now interpret the brisa and come up with an afkamina ledina with regard to each one of these zmanei revios. Bishleim Revia Rishona Rishoel. The first of the three revios is relevant to what's called She'elas Geshamim. And She'elas Geshamim as we know it, is an additional bakasha added to the ninth bracha of Shmona Esrei, which is called the same Talamot Lebracha. Now we jump to the Shlishis. And the Shlishis is Anos. If the Revi'ah Shlishis passed and the rains haven't fallen yet, we begin the series of Tainiyos. El Shniya L'maynaf Gemina. What difference it make that the Tanoim are debating back and forth? When is the Revi'ah Shniya? The Amar Rabbi Zera, and Rabbi Zera says, we know there. The entire thrust of this issue about when is the Revi'ah Benedis, the Shniya, is relevant to a note. The person took a neder that enjoins himself from drinking wine until the Shamin. What he meant to say is until the Revi'ah Shniya, because the Revi'ah Rishona is too early and the Revi'ah Shlishis is too late. And what he has in mind, says Rabbi Zera, is the middle Revi'ah. And let's just go over it. According to Rabbi Meir, the middle Revi'ah is on the 7th of Cheshvan. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the Revi'ah Shniya is on the 17th of Cheshvan. And according to Rabbi Yossi, the Revi'ah Shniya is on the 23rd of Cheshvan. The Amrin Allah, in regard to this Machlokas Tanoim about the Zmani Revi'os, we have a brisa, Kiman Azlaha brisa. We have a brisa of Rav Shimon Gamliel. And we're going to try to attribute this brisa of Rav Shimon Gamliel to one or the other of the shitas of Tanoim that were brought in the earlier brisa with regard to the Zman of the Revi'ah. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer, Gishanim sheyardu shiva yomim zachar zeh. If we had 7 consecutive days of rain, atamodu bahem Revi'ah Rishona ushniya. It means that by definition you've passed the first 2 Revi'ahs. And the Gemara says, Kiman, ki Rabbi Yossi. This can only work out according to Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi, if you recall, starts on the 17th, and then he has the second Revi'ah on the 23rd. From 17 to 23 is going to be a period of 7 days. And that's what he says, Sheyardu Shiviyavim Zachar Zeh. So the distance, or the time interval between the first and the second Revi'ah, according to Rabbi Yossi, is exactly 7 days. And Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says that according to Rabbi Yossi, and the Revi'ah Shniya begins on the 17th, the Shniya on the 23rd, and between the 17th and 23rd, there are 7 days. And what he's talking about, according to this sheet in the Brisa of Rav Shimon Gamliel, is that you need the rains to fall down. And we're assuming that Rav Shimon Gamliel holds like the Chachamim, that when he says Ad HaGeshamim, and he took a neder until the Geshamim, you don't need that the rains fall down, but all you need is the Zman of the rains to fall out. And even according to their Shita, we need rain mamish. Even according to the Shitas Chachamim, we need rain, because again, if we go back to our Mishnah for a moment, then we see that Rav Shimon Gamliel is quoted in our Mishnah on Daf Samach Beis Amid Beis as saying that Shegias Manashal Revi'ah. We don't need that the rains come down. We only need that the time period for the rains to come down. Once that passes, then we have what's called a Zman Kotzuv, and a person takes a neder on his Zman Kotzuv. So he doesn't make it depend upon a coincidental issue of whether it will rain or it won't rain. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel insists that it depends upon the time of the rains coming down. You don't need the rains to actually come down. And yet, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel here in this brisa wants to tell us that if you have a period of time in which it actually rains straight through from Revi'ah Rishona until Revi'ah Shniya, which means that 7-day period from day 17 in Cheshvan to day 23, then it's considered as if you've passed Shtei Revios. And therefore the neder will terminate at the end of this 7 rainy day week, so to speak. Now, what was the case of Reb Shimon Gamliel? What exactly was the nusach of his neder? The Gemara now understands that Reb Shimon Gamliel is talking about a case where he said Ad HaGeshem. And when a person says Ad HaGeshem, according to Reb Shimon Gamliel, he means until the time period of the Geshamim. Now this is against Rabbi Zera, because Rabbi Zera was the one who said that Ad HaGeshem, it's dependent upon the Zman of Revi'ah Shniah, and it's irrelevant whether it rains or not. And that's true even according to the Shitas Chachamim. So why would Rav Shimon Gamliel say that according to Chachamim, they'll agree that if there was a rain continuously from Revi'ah Rishonah to Revi'ah Shniah, it's as if you've already passed the Revi'ah Shniah. And you don't have to, according to Rav Zera, you don't have to even wait for Yeridas Geshamim. All you need is Zman. And the Gemara answers, "Who the Omer Ad HaGeshamim?" Rabbi Zera is correct that if he said Ad HaGeshem, that even according to Chachamim, you have to wait until Higia Zman Revi'ah Shniah. You don't have to wait until the rains actually fall down. But Rav Shimon Gamliel says that according to Chachamim, in a case where he says Ad HaGeshamim, that wasn't the case of Rav Zera, but Ad HaGeshamim, here the Chachamim require that the rains fall befall, in actuality, Ad Sheyerdu Mamish. And here's where Rav Shimon Gamliel in the Brisa makes his comment that if the Geshamim began at the time of Revi'ah Rishonah on the 17th of Cheshvan, and they continued non-stop until Revi'ah Shniah on the 23rd, that's considered like Shtei Revi'os, and therefore the neder is terminated. And now that brings us up to the Mishnah on Daf Samach Gimel. Konom Yayin Sheni Toim L'Shana. He takes upon himself an entire year's worth of Iser Neder, enjoining himself from Yayin, and then this Ara Shana. There was a decision made that they would extend the year for an extra month of Adar. It's not a Pshuta, but rather a Muberes, and this Shana Muberes has 13 months. And the Mishnah Paskins that Osir Ba Ube Ibura. Now, the Gemara is going to discuss whether he knew about the fact that it was a Shana Muberes. He didn't know. But right now, the Mishnah says in an unqualified way that he has to continue his Konam until after the 13th month and the year is completed. Similarly, if a man during a Shana Muberes says An Rosh Adar, right, which means the beginning of Adar, then he means Ad Rosh Adar HaRishon. So the Mishnah is reflecting the Shita, which we'll see is a Machlokas Tanoim, that Stam Adar is Adar Rishon. But if he says Ad Sof Adar, then he means Ad Sof Adar Rishon. So again, we're always assuming that Stam Adar B'Loshem B'nei Adam is Adar Rishon. So the Gemara says, Alma, we see the underlying premise of this Mishnah is Stamad Adar Ka'amar Rishon. When a person used the word Adar, and we'll soon that they see that that's no get to writing a shtar, then what he has in mind is Adar Rishon. It's like Masnis and Rabbi Yehudi. So that would mean that this Mishnah reflects the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda. The Sanya we learned in the Brisa, this Brisa is going to record a machlokes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda regarding writing shtaros, that if a person writes a shtar ba'adar rishon, so it's a leap year, and in the first Adar he writes a shtar, according to Rabbi Meir, kosev Adar harishon, he has to go out of his way to tell us that the date of the shtar and the validation of the shtar is the first Adar. If, on the other hand, he writes the shtar and he has to write a date of the shtar, and it's Adar Sheni already, then Kosev Adar Stam. When a person used the word Adar in a leap year, according to Rabbi Meir, Beloshin b'nei Adam, he refers to Adar Sheni. So according to Rabbi Meir, Stam Adar means Adar Sheni in a leap year, and that is against our Mishnah. But Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Adar Rishon Kosef Stam. If he's holding an Adar Rishon, he doesn't have to qualify it. All he has to write is Adar and Stam Adar Beloshin b'nei Adam. If it's not qualified, is a reference to Adar Rishon. Adar Sheni, if he's in Adar Sheni, then the date has to be written. Kosev Tinyonim, he has to write. This is Adar Sheni. So we see that Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that a person who uses Stam Adar unqualified, he means Adar Rishon. And the Mishnah that says that if he takes a neder until Adar, it means until Adar Rishon. And that reflects the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda. Or Rabbi rejects it. Afilu Tema Rabbi Meir. We can reconcile our Mishnah with Rabbi Meir. But it depends upon whether he was aware of the fact that this year is the Shana Mubarak or he was not aware of it. When did Rabbi Meir say the price that Stam Adar is Adar Sheni? That's the Yada Debi Abra Shata. Let's say he was writing a star and he knew that this year was a leap year. And therefore, when he writes Adar, Rabbi Meir assumes he meant Adar Sheni. But our Mishnah, which says that the neder only is valid until Adar Rishon, to Lo Yada. He did not know that this year was a Shana Mubarak. He thought that this was a regular Shana Pshuta with only one Adar, 12 months. And therefore, when he says Adar, even Rabbi Meir would agree that what he meant is Adar Rishon. So again, if a man takes a neder Stam and he uses the word Stam Adar, then his kavanah is for Adar Rishon, even according to Rabbi Meir. But that's only in the case where Lo Yada, he did not know, he was unaware of the fact when he took the neder that this is a Shana Mubarak. And therefore, if he didn't know, he thought mistakenly that this is a 12-month year, then Adar means Adar Rishon. On the other hand, says Rabbi Meir, in a case where he knows that it is a Shana Mubarak, then Stam Adar, he meant Adar Sheni.